Coming up, a superintendent apologizes for photos showing alleged inappropriate homecoming activities at school.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The Hazard Independent School Superintendent is apologizing for viral homecoming activity pictures showing what many say is inappropriate behavior. Superintendent Sandra Combs says personnel have been disciplined but would not go into specifics. The photos show teenage boys dancing near and on school leaders, including the principal and mayor of Hazard, Happy Mobellini, and teenage girls in Hooters costumes holding beer mugs, among others. The photos have been taken down, but the story is continuing to gain attention across the nation. Reactions have been mixed locally, with some outraged at what took place, while others are strongly supporting Mobellini and saying it is all being blown out of proportion.
Kids can be kids, but not be strippers and Hooters.
It wasn't meant to be actually anything sexual. It was just a joke to get more laughs so we could win.
The superintendent says she is reviewing policy and procedures to make sure this does not happen again. She asked people, quote, not to judge a district with a century-long tradition of striving for excellence on a single incident where fun trumped judgment. You can read the lengthy statement from the superintendent on our website at WYMT.com. And we have learned tonight Principal and Hazard Mayor Happy Mobellini is also facing a lawsuit because of a different alleged incident. The Lexington Herald-Leader says the suit accuses Mobellini and two teachers of not chaperoning students during a trip out of state back in 2017. The lawsuit claims that lack of supervision led to a physical and sexual assault against a female student on the trip. She says when she reported it, she was not taken seriously. A jury trial is scheduled for next August. Officials at American Electric Power announced the sale of its Kentucky operations for nearly $3 billion on Tuesday. The sale is currently pending regulatory approvals from the Kentucky Public Service Commission and the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. The transaction also requires federal approval per an antitrust act and approval from the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States.
So that's why we're thinking that the final approvals or the close of the sale will not be until about middle of next year, at least late in the second quarter.
Company officials expect the sale to net AEP about $1.5 billion.
Been watching clouds stream into the mountains so far this afternoon and this evening. We're a bit milder tonight when compared to last night, and that's just a sign of things to come. A lot of truck traffic this evening on I-75 at Mount Vernon. A little bit of a fog out there as well, but not too much in the way of foggy activity. 48 right now at London Corbin Airport, where all is quiet on the runway there. Highs today, we actually ended up quite mild into the low 60s in many spots. A few upper 50s out there and a few lower 50s up in the Big Sandy, where the clouds stayed in place a little bit longer. Out there right now, most of us in those low to middle 40s. A couple of 50s still out there, mainly over towards Somerset right now. In fact, we're going to see temperatures slightly increase as we head through the nighttime hours, thanks to a little bit in the way of some of that cloud cover working back in. You see satellite and radar, we got those clouds working back in. That's ahead of our next system, which looks poised to bring us at least a couple of days, if not a little bit more, of some rainfall around the area. So for tonight, low to mid 40s out there for overnight lows tonight. Clouds on the increase, a little bit of fog possible as well. We've got plenty of rain, though, in the forecast, and I'll have the details on that coming up in just a little bit. Steve?
Evan, thank you. A staff attorney who works in the state's executive branch is suing Governor Andy Beshear over his mask mandate in state office buildings. The Lexington Herald-Leader reports Dana Simmons, who works for the state's public protection cabinet, filed the suit on Friday. The lawsuit claims that Governor Beshear and other defendants illegally imposed the mask mandate under the guise of policy, even though the governor's ability to issue a broader mask mandate was limited by judicial rulings and the state legislature. The defendants had not yet filed a legal reply as of Wednesday, and the case is set for a preliminary conference in Covington on Friday. The Pond Creek community in Pike County is still reeling after an unexpected COVID-19 death this week. 23-year-old Jay Cook was diagnosed with COVID just last week. By Monday, he was dead. Loved ones say it was an unfair, untimely death, but they believe his heart and servant's attitude will fuel a legacy for his kids and family in the years to come.
He's been all over the county, doing everything from helping the sheriff's department to a firefighter to training for firefighters, and you won't find too many people that didn't like him. You'll find thousands of people he touched some way or another.
Visitation for Cook is tomorrow night from 6 until 9 at R.E. Rogers Funeral Home in Belfry. The community is remembering a Hazard hairstylist who died from COVID-19 earlier this month. Philip Adams worked at Karma Salon and Spa in Hazard. One of his former clients says she went to him when she was 13 years old and says he was the hairstylist everyone wanted to go to for prom, adding when she sat in his chair, it felt like a safe space.
At the end of every yoga session that Philip would have, he would always end with namaste, and he taught us that it means the good of me sees the good in you. And that's how I know I'll always remember him.
His co-workers tell us they will remember Philip for his artwork as well and believe he would want to be remembered for his gift of giving. An influential figure in Corbin's history died this weekend, and community members gathered to celebrate her life today. WYMT's Corey Sanning shares how friends and family are remembering Nancy Mitchell.
A celebration of life as friends and loved ones of Nancy Class Mitchell gather to celebrate her legacy.
When it hit, I could only think of the family, because Nancy was family first. She did a lot of things, but you were never around her that she didn't talk about her children, her daughters, her grandchildren, and her husband.
Mitchell died Sunday after battling an illness for some time. She was the first woman elected to the Corbin City Commission and served 2 terms as vice mayor of the city. Congressman Hal Rogers says the loss hits home.
Almost like a sister to me. She and Bob, her husband, a great team in life, in politics, in business, and the like. But what a loss.
As he and others reflect on her legacy.
She was a strong personality. She loved this part of Kentucky, and all of Kentucky for that matter, but she did what was right, and she expected others to do the same.
And what she set out to do as a public servant and leader.
It was all about others. It was nothing about her. A wonderful family, 2 beautiful daughters, a bunch of grandkids now. But I think the thing most about her is that she cared about people.
Remembering a trailblazer dedicated to serving her hometown. In Corbin, Corey Sanning, WYMT Mountain News.
And another longtime Corbin City Commissioner, Ed Tye, died over the weekend. Tye served on the City Commission for 23 years, from 1990 to 2005, and again from 2011 to 2018. His 23 years of service saw the construction of the Corbin Arena, the creation of the city's backpack program, and the revitalization of downtown. His funeral is at 4 p.m. Friday at the Corbin Presbyterian Church. He was 81 years old. The East Kentucky Dream Center in Pikeville is holding a fundraiser to help families in the region while bringing awareness to the issue of food insecurity. The Flushing Out Hunger fundraiser saw many homes and businesses have one of the Dream Center's tacky toilets put on their lawn. The multicolored potties all come with a sign to let others know about the fundraiser. H&M Stables at Bob Amos Park in Pikeville was a recent victim, but the owner already saw it coming and said she was excited to participate.
Some people think, it's $25, but $25 to somebody that, is really struggling, that's a meal. That's a meal for their family, and that's important.
Dream Center officials said the fundraiser could take place through the end of the year. It costs $25 to flush a friend, have a toilet removed from your property, or purchase insurance for your lawn. In Rowan County, the school board has voted to increase pay for substitute teachers. Emergency subs made $65 per day before and will now make $85. Subs with certifications or master's degrees are moving up to $110 from $85. Retired teachers who sub will still make $110 per day. Those changes go into effect on November 1st. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, how a Lewis County native is using music to make a difference in the drug epidemic.
And time to grab that umbrella again because showers are on the way back. I'll have the full details straight ahead.